I hope to be able to post that second report for this incident to our website during the upcoming week.
Oh, that would be a interesting follow-up to get the scoop directly from the young girl who saw this fantastic giant black object skimming over the oak trees. Oh my gosh, oak trees don't grow that tall. So, I mean, this is pretty low to the ground.
Yep. It was probably within 50 or 100 feet of the ground, and I would say probably towards the lower figure of that distance.
Yeah, definitely. Well, just thank you so much for all this fast-breaking stuff. They've got some historical sightings tonight and some right up-to-date sightings as well. But let's talk about your upcoming appearance at the Quinault Beach UFO Paranormal Summit that's coming up on March 1st through the 3rd. Let's kind of let people know how they can find you and what the actual conference is going to be about. It's going to be a fascinating gathering, I believe.
Well, you're going to be there, too, which is going to make it as fascinating as can be with your UFO I-team. And I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what day I'm scheduled to speak. I haven't seen the schedule yet. I haven't gotten that information, but it's to be held on beginning Friday at 5 or 6 p.m., Friday the 1st of March, and it runs through Sunday, the 3rd of March. I'm looking forward to it tremendously. I've spoken there on 2 occasions in the past, and I'm really looking forward to it this time. And I'll give people a little hint as to what I'm going to do. I think we have about an hour to talk, and I'm going to devote half of that to some of the more interesting, dramatic, and well-documented cases I've covered in my lifetime. And then I'm going to build a radar system on stage, Michael.
Oh.
I'm going to show people what we might be able to do using what is referred to as a passive radar system. My objective is to shut down all UFO conferences because we won't need them anymore. You and I have talked about passive radar many times in the past. If we can build a passive radar system to detect UFOs, we won't need conferences because the debate over UFOs will be ended. And that's one of the things I'm going to do during my presentation.
Well, now that will be something to behold, and I think that really brings it right down to the ground when you're talking about how you can actually use passive radar, which you have written the white paper on. You've done the research in this. And even an ex-CIA friend of yours calls you up and tells you it would work if you build it. I can't wait to see that speech that you're going to give, the presentation at the Quinault Beach UFO Paranormal Summit. By the way, it's in Ocean Shores, Washington, and it's going to be at the Quinault Resort and Spa, Quinault Beach Resort, so they can go and call on the hotel and get rooms there. They're very inexpensive rooms at the casino there, and I'm really looking forward to Johnny Manson is the conference coordinator, a real good friend of mine, and I can't imagine all the hard work that he does every year to put on this largest, by the way, UFO paranormal festival or conference in literally the state of Washington, and one of the biggest in the Pacific Northwest. So I can't wait for us to be there together, and I want to thank you publicly for allowing me to room with you again, like we do periodically, and we're going to have some great late night talks, I would imagine, about what's going on.
Good sessions in the bar, that's for sure.
That's right, exactly. Well, Peter, once again, thank you very much for your participation tonight, and thank you for hunkering down there in the snow-covered eastern Washington and giving you a call. At least the power didn't go out in your neck of the woods, it sounds like.
No, we didn't lose power once, as far as I know. We were very lucky, Michael.
Yes. Okay, well, thank you again, and you stay warm, and we will maybe talk to you next week, and we will definitely be at the conference together. Can't wait.
Look forward to it. And thanks for the airtime, as always.
You're welcome. Good night now. Wow, there he is. That was fascinating. We got some historic reports there, and all the way back in 1952, and then we have Peter's 1954 sighting as well at near the St. Louis airport at an outdoor movie theater. On gosh, can you imagine 1953 Studebaker? I remember those cars. And now we are going to jump right into the Pacific North Weird News with our buddy Vince Inzunza. If Vince is still there and holding on, come on the air, Vince, and let's start talking together.
Hey, Michael, how you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for being on tonight. How did you weather, by the way, the Snowmageddon?
Oh, I got virtually snowed in for the entire weekend. Lost power for a bit of it. Was certainly unable to move my car anywhere for a number of days. I have a really great collection of books on UFOs, Bigfoot, ghosts, all kinds of fun things. So I had a good time.
Oh, I tell you what, if anybody out there has not friended Vince Inzunza yet on Facebook, you've got to do that just to find out all these incredible finds that you get, in various, thrift shops and all that stuff. You've got some classic UFO and paranormal gear that you're kind enough to share with us on the Facebook page there. So let's do this, Vince. Let's have you spell your last name just in case someone wants to follow you on Facebook.
Sure. It's Y as in yellow, N as in Nancy, Z as in zebra, U as in underwear, N as in Nancy, Z as in zebra, A as in apple.
Inzunza is how you pronounce it, but it doesn't look that way when you first have to encounter it. But there it is. That's how you follow Vince Inzunza on Facebook. Well, tell us about what the heck you've been doing for the last 2 weeks since we've been snowed in and out of power here at Night Dreams Talk Radio for the last 2 weeks. We need to catch up.
Yeah, we definitely do. Well, I'm just coming off of the release of a brand new Pacific North Weird episode titled "The Town That Bigfoot Built."
Oh, yes.
Very kind of the professional version of a recent road trip that I took with Tyler Bounds to Willow Creek, California, near the site of the Patterson-Gimlin Bigfoot sightings of 1967. And we'd released kind of a road trip video early on, about 3 months ago. But this is kind of the version that has like the professional interviews and like the really good audio, and it's taken a while to throw it together, but so far it's receiving a lot of praise. A lot of people are really liking it, which I'm happy about.
Oh yeah, that would be great. As a matter of fact, I remember your Gonzo road trip videos with Tyler Bounds. Vince, you can imagine this Hunter S. Thompson-esque kind of scene with Tyler and Vince in a car traveling down to Willow Creek, California to retrace the steps of the Patterson and Gimlin sighting of the Bigfoot, Patty, the famous one that everybody's seen the movie and photos of. But, oh, man, I can't imagine that you've got a professional video now out. And, again, what's the title of the video, and how can people find that?
The title of the video is called "The Town That Bigfoot Built," and you can find that if you go to PacificNorthWeird.com, and that will link right to our YouTube page. It's the most recent video. Just put it up yesterday.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. Fast-breaking news here, and people definitely have to check that out. And all the interviews that you had with, who were some of the highlighted interviews that you might want to tell us about? Maybe as a little teaser of who you interviewed while you were there.
Sure, yeah. We talked at length with Stephen Streufert, who is the owner of the famous Bigfoot bookstore out in Willow Creek. We also spoke with two members of the Bluff Creek Project, And they're the ones who have been, for the past couple years, doing photo forensic analysis on the original Patterson-Gimlin footage in order to find the exact spot where that took place. And they believe beyond all certainty that they have found the exact film site, and we went out and visited it and interviewed them down there, and they kind of just explained their process. It's very technical, but fascinating.
Well, and by the way, I remember some of the teasers that you did with that in video form where you literally are at the site of the Patterson-Gimlin film, and you are talking with Tyler and these folks from the Bluff Creek Project about how they actually determined how to find this location against it. It is very remote, I understand.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's the middle of nowhere, and then there is nowhere.
So you're on the outskirts of nowhere, is what it is.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, it was at least like a 45-minute drive up on some unpaved, dangerous mountain roads, parking, and then like another 45-minute hike deep into the woods to finally find the exact site. So it was definitely remote. There were bears. Well,
and Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin obviously were on horseback to get to this location as well. So you guys are doing it on foot, it sounds like.
Yeah, we were all on foot, but it was exhilarating. It was really great to kind of be somewhere where your cell phone doesn't work and just have a pretty eye-opening, enlightening time out in nature.
Yeah, I'll bet. Okay, so thank you for that little review here of the town that Bigfoot built on Pacific North Weird on YouTube. That's going to be a fun thing to look at. Now, by the way, the last 2 weeks or so, you've been out and about, I'm sure, a little bit anyway, or at least hunkering down with the internet. Have you got any updates on what the other Pacific or other weird news we've got out there?
Well, yeah. So recently I was approached by an old friend of mine, Valerie Heron, who lives in Seattle, and she's this really gifted visual artist. And she approached me with this concept of collaborating with her on a book of little-known cryptids. I write about them, she illustrates them. And I love that idea. And like the past couple of months, we've been like honing down on our idea, and we're kind of aiming for kind of obscure cryptids in the Northwest area. And I've stumbled upon some really interesting stories just from Washington State that I'd like to share a few with you.
Oh, now this would be interesting. So we're talking cryptids, which basically are, Dogman, Bigfoot, chupacabras, those kinds of things. But cryptids that are indigenous or at least sighted here in the Pacific Northwest. I want to hear about this.
Yeah, things that just belong here more than anywhere else. One weird story I've found recently, this was actually told to me by my friend Paul Malik, and the Hoh River Trail in the Olympic National Park. Apparently, since the 70s, there have been reports of goat-looking men wearing dark robes with hooves for feet who emerge from the trees at night and kind of put on rituals and weird occult things like that. And there's not a whole lot of information out there about that, but I am currently researching it, and I'm hoping, if anyone in the audience happens to know about any stories about this, I would love to hear about it.
Oh my! Are you I can't believe this. Goat men wearing robes with cloven feet is what you're saying on the Hoh River Trail on the Olympic Peninsula. That, to me, just conjures up in my mind something really strange. Now, by the way, that same area, of course, is probably the Bigfoot hotspot of the universe as far as our planet is concerned anyway. The Olympic Peninsula with Bigfoot. So, my goodness, goat men as well. Okay. Keep going, buddy.
Goat men.
What else you got?
There's also something called the Brenson's Hollow Beast. Brenson's